You got your quiz tomorrow, or your unit test tomorrow. This is day 2 review. So I'm hoping that if I invest 2 days of review, that it's going to pay off tomorrow. All right, I'm going to do the same thing I did on Friday. I've selected certain questions here that I know will be very, very similar to the test that we're going to go over as a class, and you're going to tell me how to do it, and then I'll give the rest of the time to you like I did on Friday. Okay, for you guys to get out your Chromebook, the answer key, and work on whatever questions you haven't worked on. Before I start that, is there anything you want to ask about tomorrow? Again, these three, the first three are up on the formula sheet. Arithmetic series, you got to create your own sigma. And then we will be going over a recursive formula in a couple minutes here. Anything you want to ask here before we get going? I have certain ones I've picked, like I said. Ready? Yep.
You're just asking like what we want to go over.
No. I have certain questions I'm going over now, but if you have general questions, I can answer those first. Number 2, here we go. Number 2. Some of you may have done this on Friday. I just want to make sure we are clear on what is expected for something like this because I asked a similar question on the test tomorrow. So basically, which sigma represents 6 plus 15 plus 26 plus 39? Here's what I don't want you to do. Add those numbers up and then type every single sigma into your calculator. That may or may not be the right answer. Here's what I need is when you do each of these sigma choices out by hand, you get out a 6 first. You get out a 15, you get out a 26, and then a 39. Just because you add those numbers and then you put each sigma in your calculator and get the same number may not be the answer. You need to get these 4 terms in there, okay? So if you were doing it, number 1, out by hand, what number do you plug in first? You plug in, for choice 1, which number do I plug in for n first? I plug in the number on the bottom, which says n equals 4. So when you plug in 4, 2 times 4, 8 minus 2 gives you 6. Okay, so that doesn't mean it's the answer, though. You got to check for the other 3. So there's 6. Now what number to plug in? You plugged in 4. Now you go to 5. So plug in 5. 2 times 5 minus 2. Okay, I can stop there. I know it's not that because I should have gotten what? 15. So keep going until you get the numbers out. So now I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Here you go. 20, helping me out. Right, Michelle? What number do you want to plug in first for number 2? 4. Go ahead. 4 squared minus 10. Okay, we're on a good start. Now plug in what number? You plugged in 4. Now plug in, okay, 5 squared minus 10. Okay, I'm still not positive. I'd rather see a third number here. So you plugged in 4, 5. Now plug in 6 squared minus 10. There you go. And I think we're good, but we'll just check. So now plug in 7. There you go. So it's got to be choice 2. Okay, so again, you got to make sure you get those actual numbers, not just the sum out. We good there? Okay, go to 11. Hopefully you got your formula sheet on you. Go to 11. Write the formula for the nth term. Okay, if I'm going to do that, I got to figure out what type of sequence this is. So that's what I'm going to ask somebody first. 8, 25, all the way down here. Am I adding a certain number or multiplying a certain number? There's your answer. All right, what type of sequence is this up here? Go ahead, 4. What type of sequence is this? Geometric, perfect. So go to your formula sheet right now, and I look at geometric, and I write down the equation right off the formula sheet. Please remember, if you're writing it for the nth term, take a look. N stays N. You just have to fill in this case, for the first term and the R value. All right. 19, yes, no?
The answer?
Nope. First term.
Oh, sorry. 80.
80 times now R value. If you can't see it from here, I gave you a trick weeks ago, which is take a term. So if I take 20 and divide it by the previous term, which in our case is 80, that reduces down to what, Rachel?
105.
1/4. So there's your R value. Final question. Can you multiply the 80 and the 1/4?
No.
No, you're done. You're done. Identify what type of sequence it is and plug in for everything but n. Questions yet? I know I'm going quick, but I want most of the time for you guys. All right, 12. Here we go. 12. Here's a recursive formula. I give you the first term. I need 5 terms, though. I need the first 5 using that formula. So I know the first term is 6. All right, so that means 5 different people are going to help me out here. Second term, 12. We have a 12 in the house. Yes, we do. Okay, ready? This is just another way of writing what, Nick?
A1.
Well, in the previous term, right?
Yeah.
Whatever the previous term was, put it in. All right, so what was my previous term, Nick, here? It was 6 plus, now here's where we get a little nervous because I see this n value here. Remember, that single n is the same as that single n. And what did we just plug in for that single n, Nick? On the left. So it should be 6 plus 2. Perfect. Thank you. So that's going to be 8. Need somebody new. 17. None? Okay. How about a 16?
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Okay, ready? Third term. So it says previous. Go ahead, Marissa.
8 plus 3.
8 plus, those ends match. 3. 11. Fourth term. 19.
You get 11.
Yep, previous is 11. Now what's my new n that matches?
4.
4.
And you get 15.
15. And then finally, how about the fifth and final term here? There we go. 9. Okay. 9 and 17. 13. 15 plus 5. So fifth and final term, 20. Everyone all right with that? You are going to see an n tomorrow pop up all by itself. So make sure that n matches the other single n. Everyone all good? Okay, go to 13 now. 13. Find the common difference. Just first explain to me what that means, common difference. Okay, what's that mean? 16, what's a common difference?
Oh, this one.
Hi.
Is that in geometric? No, not geometric.
Yep, arithmetic, yep.
Sequence, and that's what you're going up by?
Correct, that's what I'm adding. Okay, thank you. Okay, 16 again, ready, Marissa. So it looks like from 2a plus 1 to 4a plus 4, I got to figure out what I'm adding. So as I go from 2a to 4a, what am I adding?
2.
Just 2?
2a.
2a, right? So I'm from here to here, I'm adding 2a, and notice the numbers. I'm going from 1 to 4.
3.
So not only do I add a 2a, I also add 3 to it. And I would just check. All right, everyone ready? Marissa, last question. Let's take 4a plus 4, add your 2a plus 3. So 4a plus 4 plus your 2a plus 3. What do I end up with? Which is what I needed for the next term. So 2a plus 3. That common difference. Any questions? I think we're going to do the large problem coming up here with the gardening. Yep, 17. I'll give you guys a couple minutes there just to read it, soak it in, process. Okay, write an explicit formula. I went over with you guys on Friday. Explicit formula is just another way of saying write an equation for the nth term. Okay, write an equation for the nth term. That's just another way of saying it. So that means you guys got to tell me what type of sequence I'm dealing with so I know where to go on the formula sheet. What type of sequence am I dealing with these plants? 17, what type of sequence? No 17, should have known that, right? 3, what type of sequence am I working with? Arithmetic. Everyone go to your formula sheet, and I need somebody to tell me what the arithmetic formula is. Ten, how about the arithmetic formula?
AN equals A1 plus parentheses n minus 1.
Yep. And remember, when you write in the nth term, n stays n. So I just need somebody, what's the first term and what am I going by to fill that in? 18. What's the first term? 20, and what am I going by? 3, done. If you guys want to leave it like that tomorrow, that's fine. If you want to distribute the 3 and add the 20, that's fine too, which we'll do. Uh, 3 and plus 17. How's that look? Okay. Here's the real reason I'm doing this. It's for part B. Because we had a real struggle with this on the quiz. Write the recursive formula now. A lot of you guys gave me this for the recursive. That's not recursive. Remember, recursive comes in 2 parts. It's got to come in 2 parts. What's the first part? You always have to write down in any recursive formula. 9. All right, on fire. 1. First part for a recursive formula. It's got to be. What is it, Olivia?
20.
Done. That's got to be in there. First term is 20. Nice. Now here comes the harder part. You need to tell me what you're doing to the previous term. How do I write previous term? Symbolically, how do I write that, Lily? There you go. So what are you doing? What are you doing to the previous term here to get to the next one? That's what you got to figure out. Olivia, again, what are we doing? Adding 3. So don't put it down here with the subscript. Make it obvious. I'm adding 3. Does everyone see that? That's what I'm looking for, recursive. This is not recursive. All right? This is not recursive. A1 and the rule. Good there. How many bulbs on the 15th? How many bulbs on the 15th? And I don't want you to list them out. Is there something we have already done up here that I can use to get to the 15th pretty quickly? That's what I want to know. 15, got one? How do you find what we did on the 15th? I'll just open it up. It's arithmetic. How can I find how many bulbs on the 15th instead of listing out 20, 23, 26, 29, etc.? Which one? What's 26? Where's that coming from? I'm looking for day 15 now. In for which one up here? Okay, so take this equation and plug 15 in for n. So A15 equals 3 times 15 plus 17. That'll tell you how many are on the 15th. What's up, Ashley? Why 13? All right, start on the first, so, okay. How many on the 15th day? 7, what'd you get? How many on the 15th day? 62. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, and then the final I love this question. It goes over basically everything. And now what's the total number she plants from 1 to 15? Total. And I don't want you to do in your calculator 20 plus 23 plus 26. I don't have time for that. What type of sequence was this? Arithmetic. So if I have an arithmetic sequence and I'm trying to add them all up, what do I need to create? My own sigma. Here we go. And guess what? You don't have to do much work here. It was all done in the earlier parts. 19, ready to go?
Yeah.
What do we always start at?
N equals 1.
N equals 1. What are you going to in this case? 15 to the 15th. And usually to the right, that's where we have to do our work, is write an equation for the nth term, but we did that already. That's already done. What was it, Rachel?
3n plus 17.
There you go. It was already done. Why don't you settle down? Thanks. When your number's called, you can speak. How about that? Kid thinks he knows everything. All right. Hey, and this is great. I don't want you to stop there, though, because you do have to plug that into your calculator to find the number of bulbs. 19 again. What do you got, Rachel? How many total?
615 bulbs.
Okay. Any questions there on that large one? And I think maybe it looks like I have one more to go with you, and that's it. Yep. Oh, why are we doing this one? I'll just plug it in my calculator. No, you won't. Why not? 2 variables. Your calculator cannot do sigmas with 2 variables, and you better believe I put one on there tomorrow that has 2 variables. So look at 21. So I'm going to need your help doing it by hand if I can't use my calculator. All right, let's start. Number 3. What do you want me to plug in first? 0. So everybody, I plug in 0. Anybody remember your rule? Anything raised to the 0? It's just 1. So your first term is 1. Okay, not bad. What is the next number you'll be plugging in? 13. 1. You got me thrown because the answer was just 1. Yep. So yep, plug in 1. Anything raised to the first? Itself. So 5n minus 7. And the sigma says, what should I be doing to all these terms as I find them? Adding them up. So everyone all right? 1 I got when I plugged in 0 for x. 5n minus 7 is what I got when I plugged in 1 for x. Now is Brett? Yeah. I hope so, yeah. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't make it 50.
So this is kind of like recursive formula.
Not really. No. I know where you're going with that, but yeah, I don't want to get people confused here. So I have one more number to plug in. I plugged in 0. I plugged in 1. Final number to plug in, and this is where you're going to do most of your work. 20. What's my plug in 2? I think we've talked about this. Math pet peeve of mine. You just don't distribute that. You take 5n minus 7 and write it twice. That's what that means. And then you FOIL, double distribute, whatever you called it back in the day. What's your deal, Maddie? You got a problem with that? Go ahead, talk to me then. What do you got? This one here? Okay, what number do you have to plug in first for x? According to the sigma, what number do you have to plug in first for x? What's on the bottom? X equals 0. That's where I start. So I plugged in a 0 for x. And the rule is anything raised to the 0 power is 1. Okay, so that's what I got when I plugged in 0. Then I plugged in the number 1. 5n minus 7 to the first. Anything to the first is itself. 5n minus 7. And now we're working on plugging in the final number up top, 2. So when I plug in 2, That's what this is over here off to the side, rewriting that twice. Okay. All right, turn it back to you guys. All I want to know, I do not want to know the final answer. I just want to know what you get when you FOIL double distribute here. Easy back there, 2 chains. All right. Rocking it hard today, huh? 19. On fire, Rachel. What do you got here?
You get 25n squared plus 49.
Plus,
49.
okay, we're missing a term in between. I get the 49
Oh,
because look, ready? You had what? Minus 35n, and you're going to have another minus 35n. They don't cancel each other out. I can combine those.
yeah,
So that would be minus
70.
70n. Yep, good. You good, Grace? Mary, what's your deal? We sure here. We can go over it. Okay. You're good? Okay. I still need one last person here today to combine any like terms that I can. You're up, 17. Don't have one. 4. Ready, Sarah? 25n squared. Anything to combine? Nope. That's staying right where it is. All right. How about the ends? Oh, here we go. I got 1, -7, and positive 49. One job. Use your calc if you have to. 1 minus the 7 plus the 49. So 1 and the 49 give you what? 50 minus 7. Good. All right. We're ready to go. Those are the ones I wanted to pick out. All right. Chromebooks out. Here we go. Chromebooks out. I got 2 chargers up here if you need them. You got to open up last week's folder under the sequences and series folder. All right, for homework. Yep. Okay. So let's get going. Call me over if you have any issues.